Hi, it's David here with Futures Trading. I'd like to welcome you to the channel. I want to thank each and every last one of you that supported the last video. We definitely got over 1% of people that's willing to support the content there. We don't want to leave it to the 5 or 6 that was doing it. I know we got about 30 more subscribers since me coming back to the channel 2 months ago. I will take another break if we cannot get at least that 1%. Remember, I paid a lot of money as well as invested time to learn the things that I'm sharing with you. So if you don't mind and you're joining our community, we have a lot of subscribers, but we need supporters, people that, see the value of the content, kind of want to clear up YouTube a bit, don't want this stuff in front of you. If you like me delivering information and you like what you're learning, be a part of the 1%. Just do that. All right. So, got a lot of information I'm gonna give to you. Universal threshold. So, this is how far the market will pull back before resuming. So, this is that live candle, how it's moving. We're going to go over that. The price action trend, you just need to be able to count to 10, actually less than that, in order to get this to work. Price action method. So, I use the majority principle. Really important because it states that the minority is compelled to follow. So, I'm going to show you 3 different ways that show up in the chart. Chart scale. So, I teach you how to read your bezel. Hard right edge, not looking left. All right. So if the market will turn, it will happen in front of you. And you need to be aware of where it could possibly take place. I have additional information if you're in the market for that. All right. Tons of videos here if you would like to view any of this information. I traded live, prop account, showing everyone, hey, you can do this with one contract. You don't have to leverage and you can get your trading to work. All right. Really simple stuff there. I do have indicators if you're already in the market searching for that as well. You can get half off on both. All right, it's really simple. You don't need it, but I want to tell you, I would strongly advise you. You need to invest in yourself. Don't try to secure your future with free information. All right, it took me years and a great deal of capital to get where I'm at. So I want to make sure that you're willing to do the same. If it's not with me, go with someone. Invest in your education. Don't leave it to what's free. Of course, what I'm covering here on the channel can stabilize your trading, but I can assure you it is not all that I know. Neither on that private playlist. I know more than what's there as well. You need additional information to make it simple. If you want the indicators, it can work on the free version of NinjaTrader. There's well over 300 indicators in there. It's a follow the plot process. All right, so I'm not doing Q&A, not doing the Q&A. That's training. Put it on the chart, see if it, makes sense to you. I'm gonna show you a couple of them while we're doing this, but it works on the free version. So you can get the platform of your choice, place your trades, and then chart my tools and make it a little bit easier. You don't need it. All right. So I just want to say that to you. This is Bitcoin. We can look at the NQ as well, but Bitcoin is coming back under the center of the chart. It's in a place that, yeah, it can become a bit cyclical. If it's going to stay down, yeah, it's going to come back down. If not, they'll stay above the center of the range, okay, and they will just proceed up a bit further. But if they're going to, yeah, come down, they're in a good place for that to happen. These are the range times, and this is what it looks like. So you're just trying to stay beneath the center of the range or above it. I will show it to you on the NQ as well, and you will see that it's very simple. All right. So everything I'm putting in front of you, I've been doing this for a very long time. There was no prop firms that you can pay $50, $60, $150 to utilize capital. You had to trade your own money. I'm just that old. All right. So been doing this for quite some time here. All right. So now let's look at the NQ so you can see what that looks like. I want to have you just position, where you can stabilize your trading, all right, for free. All right. Now, it's not the be all. I want to tell you everything I'm going to show you is foundational. All right. So it should be able to get you, some of the results that you would like to see. This is the NQ. If they're going to stay up, this is fantastic. All right. Let's just hope that they can hold above the center of this chart and just continue to the upside. I believe it's a great chance that that's there. I do. I believe it's a very strong chance that that is exactly what they plan to do. However, if they come back through this bottom, we'll be moving down a bit more. But I believe that this is sufficient. I do. So let's see if they can do that. Again, they stopped at the upper part of the chart here. There's our ranges. And again, when they're close, it's bad. And I told you guys that it's really bad. You're not going to have fun. But yeah, they stopped at the upper part of the chart, came back towards the center. But let's see what they do. let's see what they do. Now, let me get back to our Bitcoin here, and we're going to read this just for a little bit. We're not exactly in the worst place ever for it to go back up, but we are definitely coming back under here. All right. And so this may cause a bit of a problem. I'll bring this back in a little bit. Don't want to be before you long. Just want to read this just a little bit. All right. So let's get some of this going. All right. So these are the three things that we're looking for. All right. So we want a larger wick, smaller wick. We want a smaller body, larger body, but we need this body to fit in there at least twice. Now, the majority principle states that the minority must follow. Now, these are three different ways to find majority in your chart. If you can get them all together, fantastic. All right. We need the mid above this candle. We need the mid below that candle. That's it. Now, this is the live candle. See how it's happening here? The pressure is firing off, saying that that is taking place. They had it to the downside. Yeah, maybe they're going to go back past it. I do suspect that they'll run this low as high as they can possibly get. Let's go without threshold because I see that that kind of happened here. It's right. Let's go with this threshold here. I like it on the colored bars. That's what I prefer. They may reach up here, come back off the center of this chart, come back down, blow this low, and then from there, let's see if they'll come right back up. Now, they are on this high. Okay, so they're on this high. Here's our threshold here. Okay, on that red bar here. Now, you don't have to do this. You don't have to go this far back, but some of you guys like that. But I have you know the chart scale is all in front of you. So you can kind of get an idea that it's going to turn without having to do this. All right. So, yeah, they're here. Now, I really don't want them past this threshold. I really don't. I really don't. If they're going to blow this low. Now, in the likelihood that they want to do something like that, if they want to do something like that, definitely our threshold with the bar before it. Let's see if either one. Now, I'm gonna be honest. I don't think they should get up here. That to me is just too much. This is too much. This is too much. So we should see them respond here and get back through this low. All right. Let's see if that's the case. Now, when it comes to the trend. So when we have a trend, and let me go ahead and count this out for you because it's thought, action, habit, character, and destiny. So this is us. We have a thought, and of course, we have the end in mind. That's the whole reason why we act and do it again and again. And so we have the end in mind. We do not choose the outcome, but we can't control it. So we can't control it. Okay, so we choose the outcome, but we can't control it. We trust in the function of how all of this works. All right. Well, the market doesn't perform in that manner. The market has participants that creates the outcome. So the thing that you're seeing with these candles is them creating the outcome and has designed the function. Now, what is the function? Let me tell you about this really quickly here. The function is majority. All right. So anything in blue is the function. That's the majority. Now, procedural, now this is important, is relating to an established or an official way of doing something. So procedural knowledge is the knowledge that's exercised in the performance of some tasks. So you have your doctors, your lawyers. When you go to court, they have proceedings. All right. So there's a basis of laws and functions as to how things are going to transpire repeatedly over and over and over and over again. Really important that you understand that because on average, we speak about 16,000 words, and not once have I used open, high, lows, and close while explaining this information. I'm talking to you about function, about the majority principle, because this is a decision place. So everything that's happening here is based on what you're familiar with. All right. And that's why I don't have to talk open highs and lows and close. I can talk to you about choices. So how you think. I can talk to you about these things because this is not abstract. So what you're doing here, although those are the reference points, so you do have your open, your high, your low, and your closes. Those are reference points. But when you come to the trading space, you're dealing with professionals. There's no sectioning off. You can't be with intermediates or beginners. I'm trying to prove this to you by me being able to explain this information and show it to you in a way that you may have not seen it before. Well, to be quite honest, you are doing this day to day. Now, you're a part of this decision place. Let me show you how to make better decisions. We have a trend down. All right, so here's a trend down. One, and they all have to close lower. Two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's the market wanting it to go lower. All right. So remember, if it has an idea, it has the end in mind. All right. So remember that. That's a part of thinking because this is a decision place. Someone has thought of this whole experience. Remember, the market, they're the they are the participants that can create the outcome and have designed its function. All right. So you got to keep that in mind. Don't ignore them. So if they're telling you that they're going to go and take the market in a particular direction, it's best that you listen to what it is that they're suggesting. Right now, so right now, if the market look, if they're going to drop, okay, we're just going what they're suggesting. They're going to end up at least here, all right, from what they just did. Now we got what the majority showing up for the downside. We got the smaller body being able to fit inside the bigger body twice, right? Twice. This is the threshold. So they went into this one. Now they're touching this one. Let's see, can they get this one to work to go here? All right. So we have our trend. We have our trend distance. I'm going to show you how far that is and what that looks like. Now, because is a combative environment, you have the opposing ideas that would show up too. And I'm going to show you what that looks like as well. See, they're making that distance. So my goal here is to share with you information, again, that's simple. That's simple. It's not complicated. It's something that you're already accustomed to. Right. That's important. That you understand that you're doing something that you're kind of good at. All right. So now let's make you better. All right. Let's make you better at it. All right. Now, if you can share the video, share the video with someone by hitting the like button. Actually does that. It lets everyone know that we're here. I don't pay for any likes, views, or subscribers. I have you know that. I want fate to bring you here. So if you're here, it's because it's a reason. All right. So try to share it and do the same. We want to be what we would want to see in the world. All right. It's really important. People that's not doing that, they are a problem. All right. So they are part of the mass majority of the evil that's in the world. So be sure not to be a part of that. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right. So they had an idea, and the buyers came in. And they had an idea too. Okay, that they wanted to send it up. Okay. Now I'm just giving an estimation on this. All right. So let's do this. We're still waiting for our distance to get hit. They came close, but we're waiting for that. All right, for that pattern in particular. But we do know we have a trend distance there too that we need to contend with. All right. So now let's do this. All right, now let's do this again. So we're always trying to deal with procedural knowledge. That's the most important part of being a professional. To do this professionally, you need to have procedural knowledge that you're not constantly changing your mind. You're not trying a bunch of different stuff. You listening to me is not trying something different. This is the market. So if you are one stopping by the channel and you're not totally sure of how it is that I'm explaining this information, you're probably having trouble with your trading as well because I'm explaining the chart. That's all I'm doing. I'm outlining what's exactly on the chart. Okay. And so you should be able to hurry up and identify with me what it is that I'm explaining to you because I'm explaining what you're seeing. The bigger wick, there's hardly any wick on the back of this. Now, this midpoint fell beneath that bar's low. That's why that bar is red because the actual high of the bar exceeded that prior bar. So we know that they can go at least as far as well. That puts them through this low. They went into this threshold here. And I won't be up here long. Again, if you can, show your support if you can. Okay, because I don't want to waste my time. I don't. We only have a little bit of time here on Earth. And again, there's 86,400 seconds in a day, and I don't want to waste too many of them. And I want to have you know that. So if you don't mind, share the video. Share it with someone that needs a little bit of help. Just tell them about the channel if you can. Now, this was the center of that. And as you can tell, they kind of stopped at it, but just didn't want to go back up. All right. So it's okay. They want to go back down, and that's acceptable if the idea from up here was to work anyway. So what we can do is we can kind of do the same thing. Let's go 1, 2. This is 3, 4. That's 5, 6, and we just need to get one more close under here, and we may be able to get a different projection. We may be able to get us just one more. All right, so we only have 6 here, but I'm gonna go estimation while it's still forming. All right, so let's kind of do this. Now, can it go back up? Yes. Yes, I told you before we got started that it's a good chance that they can go up higher. They can, but they're in a location that can send them down if they want to go down. It can. I'm not exactly saying that they can stay down at this point, but at the moment, and again, that's what we're doing. Right at the moment, what is it that the market is sharing with us about right now? So how long do you want to be in your trade? That's the thing you got to consider. How long am I planning to be exposed? So clearly it's going to have to be a close beneath this arrow. All right. So let's kind of do this. And I'm going to give a take here. That's all. I'm going to give a take. All right. So let's just do this. And let's see how far. Let's see how far that's saying. Okay. So they're going to be just right outside of the original trend here, just right outside of it, not by much. So they're pretty much one and the same. Let's do 40.75. So 40.75 somewhere in there. This bar value is not indicative of how much the bars actually cost. I have you know that's the NQ. All right. So we're just going to look at the clock. So it's 103. We don't want to be on here long. Let's see what our chart scale is doing here. Again, they're coming under it. All right, so they're coming under it, kind of playing the backside of it. So they may lean down a bit. They may, again, they're in a place that actually makes sense. And the reason I have this here, it has nothing to do with this stuff over here, nothing at all. There's another reason why I'm looking at that price. All right, and that price is important. Trust me, it was important a long time ago. All right, so need to know information. Really need to know information. But yeah, so I think we're getting ready to get that next close beneath here. Can we get that going on this bar? It's 27 seconds left. Come on, come on, come on. We're almost to the distance here. We're almost there. We're almost there. As long as they don't come back and hit that bar, we'll go past it. We'll say go past it. Now, if they want to lean up, they can. I like the threshold on the colored bars. All right, that's my preference. All right, and you guys can do what you would want to do, and it doesn't mean that it doesn't work on other bars. I mean, you got them testing that bar there. Well, this red one here. Okay, so this red one, that green one, kind of went in there. And they're testing that and kind of coming out of it. So it's not to say that it doesn't work on other bars. It does. I like it on the stop bar, the bar that's red. That's all. That's my preference. All right. So like here, you're seeing this happen here where they test inside of here. You see how they tested inside their threshold and they're pushing up. Now they're coming to this threshold here. I just like them on the colored bar. That's all. Could they come up here? I hope not. Hopefully they can just turn it back around. But I see what they're doing. I do. I see what they're doing. But let's see if they can just turn it back around here. Because my concern is if they were to come up here with that kind of strength, it would lead them a little higher back towards the center of the chart. All right. So that would be my concern. So let's see if they can come right back out of this. Uh, yeah, they can respond here if they so decided. If they so decide to do that, they didn't break this low yet, and I do suspect that they will. All right, so let's see if they're going to come right back down. If not, all of the components is there saying that it would want to go higher, and if that be the case, let's find out where it's going. See, yeah, that would kind of do that. Now, can it fall short? Yeah, it can get like right in here, come back down and turn around, and hopefully that's the case. Hopefully, hopefully that's the case. Because if they get past here, clearly they're going to the center of the chart, would put them right in here. That would absolutely put them right in that area there. Now, I do suspect that they'll blow this bottom. I do. I know they're kind of reaching down towards the back of it. So they're outside of this zone here, unfortunately. All right, so they kind of overshot our zone here. That sucks. So they didn't want to stop there. Okay, no problem. We'll just slide that out the way for now. All right, so now what we'll do, we'll see if they plan to get up here or are they going to just overshoot this bar and then turn back around. Now, if you see here we had, that green bar kind of reached in that threshold with that wig, one being the same. Again, it can happen on bars that's not colored. It can. I just prefer the ones that has the color. That's it. And you can absolutely get, yeah, that's what I thought. You need to come back down. So you can get the increase indicator, which is the IN that you're seeing. All right. And sometimes it works, sometimes it don't. They're trying to come down. It was working to the upside. It came in here and it worked to the upside. It came in here, it went down some more. So it can show up and work. It's just occasionally it had one here, whatever. Occasionally, if they're not wanting to go that way, you just can't force it. That's all. You can't force it in that direction. So now we're getting the pressure came on. So here's our red bar. So now let's measure our distance here. I didn't think that they'll want to do that. I thought that'd be a bit too excessive. But let's see. Let's see if they can hold this. And again, I like the red bar. That's what I like. I like going with the colored bar. Okay, so let's see if this one will hold this time. Really don't want them up here, but it's a chance that they may want to reach. There's a chance. Now they can very much use this threshold here. They can. My preference is the one with the color. That's all. That's my preference. I like the one with the color. All right. So let's slide this one over because they kind of came down here. And give or take, right there. All right. And they're coming back this way. Now, can they hold this uptrend in place? Yes, they can. Yes, they can. I just think that they will run through the back of it. I do. So what is the low here? You can look up here in the upper left-hand corner here. Let's see, 450 or one somewhere in there. I'm not a crypto trader. I'm a futures trader. I love futures. So it works on anything. Everything I'll tell you work on anything. That's all I do is universal. What's universal mean? It's applicable to all cases. That's what universal means. If you get the definition of the word, that's what it means. Applicable to all cases. So it doesn't matter your time frame. It doesn't matter, which market you're trading, which platform you're on. I'm only interested in things that's universal. All right, the only thing that interests me. So me describing the market to you again is me trying to make sure that you understand that this is a decision place. It's full of professionals, no beginners or intermediates. Well, they do show up, they just don't win. So when it comes to this information, I want you to see the chart as a decision place that's full of procedural information. All right. So it's relating to an established or an official way of doing something. Do you know of the official way? And if that's what brought you to the channel is to learn the official way, I'm doing my best to disclose what that looks like. There's an official way to do something. This is the foundation of that. All right. So it's just the foundation. There's more to it, but this is the foundation of how to officially do it. Let's see. They're taking their time. I at least want them. I'm not going to stay for the trend distance. I'm not going to do that. But if I can at least get them through this low and hit here, we will conclude the video here. Now, I do suspect while they're doing that, again, I'm going to show you this chart. They're coming under here. Now, I would say this. All right. If if they're to go higher, okay, if they're to go higher and hold this bottom, all right, we want them to stay above the center of the range, clearly. If they're to go higher, they're gonna need to do this by the end of day. All right, I'll just say it that way. It's 1 o'clock. Okay, so we would need them to go ahead and come right back through here by the end of day. All right, so let's just go at it like that. Let's say that. All right, so if you're trading Bitcoin today, you know we want to see them get back up through this decline by the end of day. Would be just fantastic if they can pull that off. It'll be nice. It'll be nice. It'll be nice. And again, if you're enjoying the content, be a part of the 1%. Just be a part of it. Be a part of it. Trying to give you guys information that you would otherwise have to pay a great deal of money to obtain. And again, don't leave it to free. Please don't leave it to free. You're you're depriving yourself of what really matters, and that's ensuring that you can navigate these markets efficiently with the least amount of problems. All right. I wouldn't encourage you to just take free information your whole journey of trying to be a trader. That's that's not professional, to say the least. Not wanting to invest in your business is not professional. It's not professional at all. I'm not a child. Most people that do that, they have a childlike mind, all right, where they don't want to invest in their selves. That's bad. That's bad. Not good. That's not a good thing. All right. So let's see which one that they're willing to do. I do encourage you to find someone, if not me, find someone that you think that can advise you in a way that could get you the results that you would want to experience. Because I know that at some point the foundational information needs to be built upon. All right, so you need to build upon a foundation. You can't just leave it as is. All right, so your house has more than just what's on the bottom of it that's causing it to stand. You got to get some bedrooms, some front doors, the bathroom, the kitchen. You have to get these other things added to it in order to complete it. And so this is just a foundational point. All right, so let's see if they're going to actually hold the lower half of this chart and try to push up towards the center of this chart. So we already know that they're supposed to go here if they're not going to get back through this green bar back here. So we know that. So this is how far it's going to go should it not want to get back below this bar here. Now, I do suspect that they're going to run this bar at this point. I do. Because I thought that this was just fantastic to get it down to here. Now, it did, get there. Got really close. More than halfway to me is sufficient. It got really close. That's not bad. Again, you're going from the close. Actually, I'm kind of beneath all of that. I'm kind of beneath that. All right, so that's pretty good. That's pretty good. It's not bad. You're almost there. They made this one. This one isn't bad. And then, yes, let's see if they'll get this one too. Remember, the market is a fluid event. All right. So it's fluidity. So I'm not just absolutely telling you that it's going to stay in this direction. I believe it can do both and still accomplish the goal. So it can push up here to this target here, remain beneath the center of the chart, and still make our trading distance here. It can do that. When it when it comes to the trend, anything is okay as long as they do not remove the idea itself. They can still end up at the destiny. All right. So at the overall place that my connection went out and it came back. At the overall place that it intends to go, it can still end up there. All right. So now it made that. Now it's saying that it will get here. All right. So that's saying it will get here, which is at that upper zone there, my threshold here. All right, that's saying that it could get there. All right, so let's just kind of drag this over a bit. Now, I don't like that it's doing all of this. I don't like it, but it can, you know, it can. Now we can begin to count our bars all over again if you want. So let's do that before I go. 1, 2, 3, 4. This will be 5 in 10 seconds. That will be 5. Oh, no, it is not. So this big wick, let's see if this the turnaround. I mean, that's almost there. Again, let me pull this down just a hair. All right, so that's almost there. That's close. We're still somewhat in this threshold if it decides to want to go down, if it decides that, if it so chooses. All right, so right now we're what, 1, 2, 3. We're 3 for 3, almost 4. Well, we had a bad one here. So we got 4 out of 5, right? Maybe. So 4, yeah, 4 out of 5. That's not bad. That's not bad. You don't have to stay in the market forever. That's another thing I want to tell you. I know some of you, you like to just hold positions. Sometimes, definitely with those prop firms being out here, and I know a lot of you guys may be going that route. If it goes in your favor, and I call it, stopping you out twice, and it comes back to your break even, they count that against you. That's not fair to you. So I'm trying to give you a realistic target. So what's a reasonable, realistic target? What did the majority tell you? And the minority is compelled to follow. So if the majority told you at this moment that we are here, go for ideally what it is that they're suggesting when they showed up. Because remember, the thought has the end in mind. All right. So if they thought enough to come into the market, well, go for that distance. If they thought enough to come into it, I'm pretty certain that what was on their mind should be the destiny. It should be the outcome. All right. It should be. And so they should get here. Now, once they get here, I must go. All right. I do believe they'll blow this bottom, but maybe not now. Maybe not now. Maybe at some point later. All right. Maybe at some point later. But once they get here, I absolutely must go. Let's see if they're even trying to come back up above our. Yeah, they're trying to get back above the middle of the chart. They're trying to, which is kind of what we want them to do if they're to stay up. Now, remember, we want to get this to happen by the end of today. So sometime tonight, maybe if the support is there. So if we can get over 1% of support on this video, sometime next week, I'll come back and we'll take another look and see that it actually get up higher. We'll see. We'll see if it actually stayed up and just went up from here. But try to make sure that the 1% support the information, because we got over 700 people in. Again, it was over 30 people that joined since me coming back. All right, so we want to try to make sure that we do that. And I don't like having to suggest you do it, because you should want to support what's benefiting you in some degree, unless you're just a self-centered, selfish individual. You should want to support. You should want to have someone else find the help that they need if you were able to find it for yourself. Try to be what you want to see in the world. We got enough problems in society. We need people that's willing to solve problems. That establishes worth. So problem solving, all right? Problem solving is important. And this is a community full of traders that want to learn. And again, I'm all for that because I love teaching. But we want to keep this out of this space, right? And again, I don't do this stuff, right? I don't want to direct you into something that's not, it's not realistic. You're not wanting that, because when the realistic things show up, see, there it is. When the realistic things show up, which is your losses, hindsight will never stop us out. You're going to be disappointed when the realistic things show up. And so I'm trying to give you a realistic experience based on the things that you are already presently aware of. And that's making decisions. You know how to make decisions. I'm trying to help you make better ones. That's all. Make better decisions by using procedural knowledge. All right. So I wish you all the best with your trading. Take care.